Thanks for stopping by. Today, I'm going to show you how to do some repairs on your air conditioning system on your car. Got a lot of background noise with the birds going today, but that just means it's springtime, and that's when you need to fix your air conditioning. I have a slight leak at the service port on my truck, so I need to replace the valve core. Whenever you're doing that kind of repair to your air conditioning system where you have to open the system when you're doing something like that, replacing the compressor, valve core, or another component where you have to open the lines, you're going to need gauges and a vacuum pump. I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of money, I'm not spending that. Well, you can get the gauges and this pump for about 150 bucks. And yeah, that's a lot of money, especially if you don't do those kind of repairs that often. But I've used this system probably about 5 times now. It's more than paid for itself. Just think how much it's going to cost you to take your vehicle in to get it repaired. Since my system still has a slight charge to it, I'm going to take it to the local auto repair center and have them evacuate the system and recover the refrigerant. You don't want to just crack open the lines or start pulling stuff apart and let that refrigerant out into the air. So wait right there, I'm going to get this system purged and I'll be right back. Okay, I got the system all purged. Let's start fixing this. I bought this kit online. It was cheaper to buy this whole kit than to buy just the valve I needed. Comes with all different sizes and the tools for different size cars. Just gonna take the cap off, take the little tool and unscrew the valve. And there it is. That's the little doomaflachi that's causing all my troubles. Find the right size replacement. You don't have to tighten these up real tight, just snug it up. The seals will take care of it. Another thing I'm going to be doing is replacing this right here. This is the orifice tube, and you'll see it has a little screen in here. This is especially important if you had a compressor fail, because this will collect any debris that's in your system, and this also makes your system work more efficiently. So if you ever have to do work and you're opening up the system, definitely replace this. And on my truck, it's right here in between the 2 ports. So I just have to disconnect these. Using a mirror here, you can see that little cross. Got to pull that out. Let me get in there with a pair of needle nose and pull it out. And there it is. I'll just get the new one and put it in. When you get to the point where you're messing around with refrigerant, definitely want to wear gloves and safety squints. Stuff's under pressure, you don't want something shooting in your eye or getting frostbite. The blue is your low pressure side and the red is your high pressure side. You don't have to worry about when you go to hook it up to the car. These connectors will only go to one side. And they work just like an air hose. You pull back on this little ring, snap it on and release the ring. And then we're going to connect the yellow to our vacuum pump. The reason we're using the vacuum pump is you need to get all the air and all the moisture out of the system. If there's any moisture in the system, it's going to freeze and you're going to get a blockage. Your system's not going to work right. The ice could damage the components. So you have to vacuum it out completely before you do a recharge. Again, you pull back on the ring, push it on the line, and let go. Make sure it's tight. All these other connections should just be hand tight. And then the other one goes right here. Everything's hooked up. I'll turn on the pump. Dust cap. So the valve's closed right now. When I turn on the pump, Just keep an eye on this needle right here. This is going to be our vacuum reading. And nothing's happening, so just need to open up this valve, which is going to connect the blue line to the manifold and the yellow line. And you'll see it drop down right away to 30, but we're still not pulling a vacuum on the system. Now I need to open these valves, which will connect the car to the gauges. And I'm not sure if these gauges are marked wrong or not, but I have to turn them to the closed position to open them to the lines. And I also want to open this. You want to let it run until you get down to -30, and then you can close off the valves and shut off the pump. Now what we're going to do is wait and make sure that it doesn't drop back to 0. This is how we're going to check for leaks. I waited about a half hour and I didn't see a change. So now I'm going to open the valves back up, turn on the pump, and let it run for about an hour. The reason for this is you want to make sure you get all the moisture and all the air out of the system. All right, I've had the pump running for about an hour. I'm going to shut off these valves on the gauges. And that's going to close off the system except for the yellow line and shut the pump off. Now I can disconnect this yellow line and hook up the refrigerant cans. We'll take our refrigerant, put on our adapter, make sure that this valve is screwed all the way out. Hook up your yellow line. And when you screw this in, it's going to open the can and allow it to fill the line, but it's going to stop here because we have these valves closed. You should be able to hear it. Now you want to start the truck and turn the air conditioning on. So now I'm going to open this up to allow refrigerant into the yellow line. And now I'm going to depress this little valve here because I have refrigerant in the yellow line, but I also have a little bit of air. Okay. Now I know I've cleared the air out.
To get refrigerant into your vehicle, you need to open the low pressure valve to get it from the yellow line to the blue line. As soon as you open that, you should start to see refrigerant flowing through the sight glass.
And you may have to take your can and tip it a little bit to encourage the flow. And you should be able to hear the compressor starting to cycle, but the pressure's still way too low. I need to put at least 2 cans of this in. All right, this can's empty. I need to switch it out. So I'm going to close the valve, disconnect this can. Put on another can and pierce the top. Back this off. All right, I switched the cans and purged the line. Now I can reopen this and let some more in. That's all there is to it to recharge your air conditioning system. Shut off your valves, disconnect your hoses, put your little caps back on, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching.